Hello everybody, Tajri the Guy 3 here, and welcome back to Pokemon Fic Pokemon Universe. Review of episode 16. This episode's titled Rivals Unite Pokemon Battle Tournament Part 1. Oh, this was an episode I wanted to make even before making the series, but obviously I didn't know it would come out to this. The reason I made this episode in particular is because I really liked the elements that were used in Best Wishes when they had tournaments. They would have like these little random tournaments like the Club Explosion and other tournaments that happened in Best Wishes that brought all of Ash's rivals and Silent and Iris's rivals and just everybody in the cast together. And that was a really nice moment, and I thought having a tournament in my series would really reflect some moments like that. Plus, I realized that Trent, Luna, and Coda have run into enough people now for it to actually work. Yeah, for it to be somewhat entertaining and not be just a bore. So I decided to make this episode and had a lot of fun actually making this episode, and some really fun stuff came out of it. So I'll go into the plot summary. The episode begins with Trent and Coda. After Trent's already won his second badge, Trent and Coda are sitting at the fabric shop. And they're sitting in the fabric shop because Anne is shopping at the fabric shop to get new fabrics for making clothes and fixing clothes and all of that. So she's going all shop crazy right now, going from place to place to place, zooming all over the place, grabbing different types of fabric and looking all at them and just spazzing out. It's fun. Luna's not there yet. Trent is really irritated and bored because he wants to go ahead and go to get his third badge. They find out here, too, that their third badge, well, the third gym, is going to be in a place called Zeon City. So, after, when that happens, Luna busts into the fabric shop and says that she found something that was rather interesting. And when our heroes try to figure it out, she basically tells them it was a flyer in order to compete in the Olden Town Pokemon Battle Tournament. And she signed everybody up, Anne, Coda, and Trent, and herself. So she signed them all up for the tournament. And even though Trent gets excited about it, and Anne is even interested in it, Coda is just like, oh, really? Do I have to battle? So then they all go ahead and head to the Pokemon Center. Well, Anne stays behind. She says that she's going to catch up with the others later. So when Trent, Luna, and Coda actually enter the Pokemon Center in order to get ready for the tournament, Trent ends up meeting up with Kaz again. And when he meets up with Kaz again, his flashbacks of their first battle come up, and he's really pissed about it, and he gets a bit fired up, and Kaz is just sort of knocking him off as, you're the rookie that I beat way back in Cherryville. So then, basically, Kaz states that he's caught like 4 Pokemon while Trent only has 3, and Kaz basically insults Trent again, and Luna points it out saying like, you just have 1 more Pokemon than Trent. That's not really that impressive. It's similar to how in the second episode when Kaz said that he begun his journey 1 day after Trent, thus making him better. So yeah, Luna is actually more annoyed by Kaz's cockiness than Trent's. So she actually doesn't really like Kaz either, but at this point she really just blows Kaz off. But then it's here that they also meet Vincent, and if you all don't remember, they met Vincent in episode 13. So 3 episodes ago, he's the one that has the Curlier, who is the son of the former king of Whitestone Kingdom. So when they meet up with Vincent again, she's just like, they're all shocked, and they're like, hey, what are you doing? Vincent's basically here so that him and Curlier can gain this experience to get stronger in this tournament. So they're excited about being in the tournament, and Luna gets excited because this gives her a chance in order to battle Vincent again and make up for that battle they had last time. It's here that we also see that there is a girl named Shay who comes in to enter the tournament along with this guy named Matt. Shay has this running gag where in the middle of her sentences she does like a little giggle, and Cass thinks she's a bit of a weirdo. Matt, there's not really many defining features about him. However, he does recognize Trent because he states that he saw Trent battle Sora in the previous episode. Because if you all don't remember, in that episode, Sora clicks a button to make it so that every TV screen can actually show the battle between Trent and Sora if you change to a certain channel and watch the battle. So Sora was one of the few trainers that actually got to see Trent battle Sora and is fairly impressed by how he beat him. So he actually meets up with Trent and shows a bit of admiration for Trent. And at this point, Anne, the one with the Caterpie, she ends up getting introduced to Vincent as well, and they meet each other there. At this point, all of the trainers are gathered, all 8 of them, and Nurse Joy comes out and tells them the rules of the tournament. The rules are basically simple. Each trainer picks an entry number, which they already did when they came in. Oh yeah, Anne came in late, by the way, but she ends up getting her entry number. Each trainer ends up getting their entry number, and when they all get their entry numbers, they'll battle within the brackets of each of the entry numbers, starting off by going in numerical order. So because of this, we get to see that entry number 1 is Coda. So Coda got number 1. Luna got number 2. And then Anne got number 3. Vincent got number 4. Kaz got number 5. Shay got number 6. Trent got number 7. And Matt got number 8. So the battles are as follows, like I just said. Luna will be battling Coda. Anne will be battling Vincent. Kaz will be battling Shay. And Trent will be battling Matt. So with that all being said, it's a 1-round elimination tournament too. So each of the trainers uses 1 Pokemon each. The Pokemon that gets knocked out, that team will be the loser while the other person advances. So all in all, it's a bracket of about 3 rounds total. And because of this, our trainers get ready, and when they get ready, there's this guy that I decided to make a recurring character as well. You know how like there's always a Nurse Joy in every Pokemon Center, and there's an Officer Jenny in almost every town? I decided to call this guy Mike. Obviously, the pun is obvious, but he will be the announcer for almost every major like Pokemon battling tournament or competition or things like that. So he'll be the hostess with the mostest for most of the events. So with that said, he basically introduces the first 2 trainers to go up to battle, which are Luna and Coda, obviously. So, and this is cool. I liked this battle in particular because Luna and Coda obviously travel with Trent, so it's cool to see when traveling companions battle each other. I thought this would be a very interesting thing to show off, and I didn't want Luna and Trent battling in this tournament at all because the next episode. So, when the battle starts, Luna ends up using Katini, and Coda ends up using Wooper. And at first, it looks good for Luna because Katini obviously has a double type advantage against Wooper. But things go awry when Katini shows to have its stage fright that it had from before. The same stage fright it showed off in, I want to say, episode 7. Yeah, so it has stage fright, which is bad for Katini. When the battle begins, she tells Katini to use Energy Ball, but the Energy Ball is so phasey that it barely works. Wooper retaliates by using Water Gun, and the Water Gun comes and hits Katini full blast. Then he tells Wooper to use Slam. Wooper comes in, actually uses Tail Whip to lower Katini's defense, then goes in for a Slam attack. At that point, Luna's run out of options because she forgot that Katini can't really use its attack. She tried to use Razor Leaf, but it came out all fizzled, and the leaves weren't even sharp, and they went in different directions. So it looks like it's going to be bad for Katini, but then she tells Katini to close her eyes. Once she does that, she directs Katini and becomes Katini's eyes, telling Katini to dodge left, making Wooper wide open because it just slammed onto the ground. Then she tells Katini to use Razor Leaf, and the Razor Leaf this time is strong because Katini doesn't have to worry about the stage fright. Hits Wooper, does quadruple the damage on Wooper, so Wooper ends up getting knocked out. Coda is upset, but he gets over it because it's like, whatever, I knew that Luna was a really powerful trainer, so he wasn't really expecting much, but he was surprised at how far he was getting. So he goes ahead and shakes Luna's hand and wishes her best luck in the next match. The match after that is against Anne versus Vincent. And when that match happens, things get a little interesting. Because obviously Anne only has 1 Pokemon, it's her Caterpie. Vincent has Curlier, which is his Pokemon. The two battle, and when the two battle, they start off really strong. Caterpie goes in and uses the String Shot method from her debut episode and tells Caterpie to use String Shot on the ground to reel itself in for a super fast tackle. Vincent has Curlier use Agility to build up speed, but then also has it use Double Team to dodge Caterpie's various attacks. After that, Caterpie pins Curlier down by using String Shot on its feet so it falls on the ground. When it looks wide open and Caterpie's about to use Tackle, Curlier uses the double team again and escapes using Psycho Cut to cut away at the String Shot Silk. After that, Curlier goes in and tries to attack Caterpie with Shadow Ball. When it tries to attack Caterpie with Shadow Ball, Caterpie is able to successfully dodge the attack, and then Curlier tries to use Shadow Ball again, and Caterpie dodges again using the String Shot, only this time Vincent tells Curlier to use agility so that it can run faster than the very Shadow Ball it threw. Once he does that, he cuts the String Shot that Caterpie used with Psycho Cut so that Caterpie has no choice but to get right in the middle of that Shadow Ball and ends up getting hit by the Shadow Ball thereafter. So Caterpie's hit, but it's not down yet. So Caterpie and Anne decides to use a new combo that she thought of with Caterpie. It's still untested, but they decide to go ahead and use it in this battle. Anne tells Caterpie to roll while using String Shot super fast. So while Caterpie's rolling forward, it uses String Shot, and the String Shot eventually turns into this giant wad of silk ball. They call it the String Shot rollout, and it actually hits Curlier and hits it hard, and things aren't looking that good. Then Vincent thinks of a plan that tells Curlier to use Shadow Ball on the ground while the Silk Ball was still rolling. It hits the ground and the Silk Ball flies in the air. Once it's wide open in the air, he tells Curlier to focus on the ball and then jumps in the air and tells Curlier to use Psycho Cut. So Curlier uses Psycho Cut right down the middle. It breaks the ball in half, and Caterpie ends up getting hit, and it's dizzy from that String Shot rollout attack. Caterpie falls on the ground and Caterpie's fainted, and Vincent wins that match. Vincent's rather impressed by how Anne uses Caterpie's String Shot in battle, and the two shake hands and the battle's over after that. The next battle is against Kaz versus Shay, and Kaz is getting rather weirded out by Shay's giggling running gag deal. But he shakes that off and goes ahead and has his Pokemon go ahead and fight. His Pokemon of choice in this match is Elekid. Shay winds up using Cacnea. Now, the battle starts off pretty strong. Shay ends up telling Cacnea to use Pin Missile, and Kaz tells Elekid to counter with Shockwave. Now, the way I do Shockwave in this series, I had the Pokemon slam on the ground, and it causes a lot of electricity to scatter everywhere, because Shockwave's an unmissable attack, or an undodgeable attack, I guess you could say. So when Elekid did the Shockwave hits the ground and blows, and all the electricity is scattered. It hits the Pin Missiles, and the two start to smoke. Then Kaz tells Elekid to use Swift. He tells Elekid to do this because the smoke won't matter. They can't hide behind it because Swift never misses. So Elekid goes ahead and busts out a Swift attack. She tells Cacnea to use Needle Arm to knock away at the Swift attack, and Cacnea does that respectively, so it deflects away at the Swift attack. Then Kaz tells Elekid to go in and rush in with the Thunder Punch, and Elekid does just that. Elekid comes in and hits Cacnea with the Thunder Punch. However, they retaliate by using Needle Arm, so it's Thunder Punch versus Needle Arm. The two punches make contact, and they hit each other hard. Shay starts laughing, however, and Kaz is trying to figure out what she's laughing at, and she tells Cacnea to use Needle Arm. Use Pin Missile. Now, since Cacnea is already in close range of Elekid, because the two are basically fighting via punches right now, their two punches are so close to each other, Cacnea's arm, the same arm that's using Needle Arm, can launch those Pin Missiles at close range. So Elekid gets hit with a close range Pin Missile. And Elekid tries to use Low Kick, but Cacnea jumps and uses Pin Missile again and ends up getting hit. So things aren't looking very good for Elekid right now. Then Kaz thinks of another way in order to win the battle. So he tells Elekid to use Thunder Punch. Shay does the exact same thing she did last time and tells Cacnea to counter with Needle Arm. So the two are about to punch each other, but then right before they make contact, Kaz tells Elekid to use Shockwave on the ground. So now Elekid still has the Thunder Punch charged, and instead of punching Cacnea, punches the ground before he hits Cacnea, and the added electricity from the Thunder Punch makes the Shockwave even stronger and makes a huger explosion. Cacnea is wide open in close range, ends up getting hit by all of it, and Cacnea ends up getting knocked out. He fainted. So by the skin of his teeth, Kaz was able to actually win that battle. Shay wishes Kaz good luck in the rest of the tournament and does her same giggling running gag, and Kaz is a little weirded out by it. But regardless, the tournament has to go forward. So, when the tournament moves even more forward, we go to our final final battle of the first round, and that battle is between Trent and Matt. So when that battle starts, Trent goes ahead and uses Pichu, and Matt uses Bergmite. The battle starts with Trent telling Pichu to go ahead and attack with Headbutt. He tells him to attack with Thundershock. However, Bergmite ends up countering with Icy Wind. The two attacks collide. Huge explosion. Then afterwards, Trent tells Pichu to go in with a Headbutt attack. But that doesn't work because Matt tells Bergmite to use Ice Ball. Trent tells Pichu to dodge that Ice Ball and use Thunder Wave. However, he tells them to use Icy Wind, and it blocks off. So everybody's thinking Trent is in trouble. And Koda's confused because he's like, what? How is Trent in trouble? The two look pretty much evenly matched. And Luna states, in the battle, Pichu's been moving everywhere trying to dodge and use attacks. However, Bergmite hasn't moved from that exact spot. So if they can't find a way to hit Bergmite, then their defenses will be down and the match will be changed. So then afterwards, Trent goes ahead and tells Pichu to use Thundershock again. And when he tells him to use Thundershock again, the Icy Wind counters, and this time Trent tells Pichu to go in with a Headbutt attack. Once he tells them to go in with Headbutt, they try to Icy Wind counter that, and Trent tells Pichu to combine the Headbutt with Thundershock. So now Pichu's combining all of that together, and the sparks from the Headbutt are knocking away at the bits of ice from the Icy Wind. Pichu hits Bergmite successfully. However, before they even hit, Matt told Bergmite to use Harden, so the Headbutt attack didn't even do much damage. So Bergmite isn't even phased. And then after that, Matt tells Bergmite to use Rapid Spin. Once he uses Rapid Spin, it knocks Pichu backwards, and Pichu flies back. So their whole strategy is using the best defense equals a good offense type of strategy, with Bergmite's really high defenses, Harden, and the use of Rapid Spin to parry them away. So then afterwards, they try to attack again using Thundershock, but it doesn't do much damage. Bergmite ends up using Ice Ball. Trent tells Pichu to dodge it. However, this time Matt tells Bergmite to use Icy Wind on the Ice Ball. When he does that, the gust of wind from the Icy Wind pushes the Ice Ball to make it go even faster. It hits and nails Pichu hard, like super hard, and Pichu falls back. Then at that point, the referee's about to call the battle, but Pichu actually gets up. He forces himself to get up. And the entire crowd is just cheering on Pichu right now for how much heart Pichu has, and everybody's cheering on Pichu's name. And even the announcer is touched by Pichu's bravery and toughness. So yeah, it looks like it's all over for Pichu. And Trent is actually touched by how much Pichu's bravery is and how much Pichu won't give up. But he's kind of upset that he doesn't have a strategy that can win this battle. That is, until he looks at the ground and notices that after Icy Wind is done, it leaves small trails of ice. So at that point, Trent thinks of an idea. Trent tells Pichu to slide on the ice from the Icy Wind. So Bergmite ends up attacking with Ice Ball. Trent tells Pichu to slide on the ice from the Icy Wind. So Pichu slides on the ground using the ice from the Icy Wind and charges in for a super fast headbutt. The headbutt hits Bergmite, and then once they're close enough, he's about to tell Bergmite to use Rapid Spin again. Trent tells Pichu to use a close range Thunder Wave. So the Thunder Wave hits Bergmite, and Bergmite's now paralyzed. Bergmite tries to use Rapid Spin to parry Pichu away, but the paralyzation kicks in and Bergmite can't move. After that, Trent tells Pichu to hold on to Bergmite and use a Thunder Shock with all he's got. The Thunder Shock goes in and does a lot of damage because they keep it going for a while, and then finally Bergmite is knocked out and Pichu wins the battle. And that means Trent advances to the next round. Pichu's super happy, but then faints because he's tired. And Trent tells him, congratulations, yeah, you earned a good rest. Matt is basically impressed by Trent and and learns, hey, okay, this is how you defeated the gym leader Sora yesterday. So yeah, he wishes Trent a good luck in the next round and hopes that they will battle again one day. So they shake hands, and that battle is basically over. And with that battle over, Kaz basically comes up to Trent and is like, hey, you did pretty good. Trent is actually a little touched by this, and he says, for a rookie. So like he does a quick turns that compliment into an insult. Trent gets insulted and is ready to beat him right there, then and there, and Luna tells him, hey, you're going to battle him next round anyway, just save it for the ring. So then Vincent actually looks at Luna and is like, hey, I'm really looking forward to our rematch. We didn't battle since we were in Whitestone when we first met, so Luna's looking forward to getting that revenge win on Vincent after their battle. So they're preparing to battle each other. It's Trent versus Kaz in the next match, and Luna versus Vincent in the next match. Rival versus rival. Who will win? You'll find out in the next episode. Like I said, this is one of my most favorite episodes. Even now, I like to look back at this one just because it's a tournament between all of the characters that have been written in the series so far. And I really like doing this. I like doing stuff like this. I like bringing all of the characters together for specific events and seeing all these characters come together for the same cause, and it's just really cool. It's a really cool thing to have all these trainers gather in one spot in order to battle each other in a tournament. It's just a really great and fun experience. So yeah, I had a really fun time even writing this tournament. The results of each of the battles are very fun, and yeah, there's no disappointment here is what I'm saying. I definitely had a lot of fun making this tournament, and the second half of this tournament is really cool too because it's a bit more emotional, but it's a really great tournament. I just love how I wrote this tournament. The only downside is I kind of wish I made the battles a bit longer, but I couldn't obviously because I was still thinking of it as an episode. And if I was thinking of it as an episode, I obviously didn't want it to run too long or else, that'd be chaos. But other than that, I'm fairly proud of this tournament. I like the characters I introduced as well as the old characters that were already in the series to begin with. Lots of action to look forward to in the second half of the tournament, so stick around for episode 17, Rivals Unite, Pokemon Battle Tournament Part 2. See you all then, everybody. Tyrone the God 3 out.